Bloodbath in China by Sam, Sonakshi, and Amy. In this video, you will learn about the issue regarding the trade of opium as well as internal problems within China. Europeans sought Chinese goods such as silk, porcelain, and tea in exchange for gold and silver. The Chinese exported more than they imported, thus creating a trade surplus. Britain therefore experienced a trade deficit in which they were losing money to China. To negotiate trade deficit, British merchants traded opium for Chinese tea. They knew that it was a highly addictive drug and increased trade so that they could gain a profit. The Chinese became addicted to opium and paid the British in silver, which disrupted the economy. The Chinese government recognized the dangers and outlawed opium, but the British refused to stop trade, claiming their right to free trade. This disagreement led to violence, thus triggering the Opium War. In 1839, British gunboats bombarded Chinese coastal and river ports. However, the Chinese could not compete with Britain's superior military technology. They were forced to accept a humiliating defeat. British forced China to sign the Treaty of Nanjing, thus ending the war. The treaty allowed Britain to control trade in China and many aspects of Chinese life. Britain also received an indemnity, or a payment from China for their losses in the war. As a part of the treaty, China had to grant British citizens in China extraterritoriality, or the right to be governed under their own laws and tried under their own courts. China was forced to make concessions to Western powers in the unequal treaties. As a result of those treaties, China opened 5 key ports to foreign trade and allowed Christian missionaries to preach in China. Poverty increased over the years, thus instigating a peasant rebellion. Hung Xiaochuan, a school teacher, became a prophet and wanted to establish a heavenly kingdom of great peace. He was a supporter of land reform, community ownership of property, equality of women and men, and an end to the Qing dynasty. He later led the Taiping Rebellion, in which he and his followers revolted and seized small cities. The Taiping Rebellion had a great impact on the Qing dynasty because it had almost toppled the Qing dynasty, thus resulting in 20 to 30 million deaths. The Qing dynasty survived but ended up having to share their power with regional commanders. Britain's trade deficit with China caused a disagreement over the importation of opium, thus sparking the Opium War. Later, peasants revolted against the government in what was known as the Taiping Rebellion, in which millions died.